Good afternoon, dear members of jury. My name is Anastasia Rogova. I'm a student of 11th form of boarding school 13. The topic of my research work is peculiarities of used slang translation from English into Ukrainian language based on the material of the TV series Sex Education. Well, have you ever thought that there are three most difficult types of translation? Personally, I have been thinking about it for the second year in a row, and I can say from my own experience that translating names, jokes, and slang is the hardest work. Quite often today you can hear some strange words in language of teenagers and young people in general. This is slang, which is used to increase the emotional color and is an integral unit of speech. Also, here you can see some important information about my work, but I would like to pay your attention in the slang in general, because in other words, slang is unconventional words or phrases that express either something new or something old in a new way. Among the main characteristics of slang, the following ones can be outstanding. Number one, it is instability or changeable character. Number two, it is art, because slang is a new layer of modern language. So creativity plays a really important role. And number three, it is freshness and modernity. Among the most common methods of translation transformation are explication, generalization, antonymic translation, substitution, translation using direct inclusion, euphemistic translation, and concretization. Now, I would like to tell you more about two big groups, which is substitution and euphemistic translation. Here you can see contextual substitution, and it's like when you have a word or expression and they simply cannot be translated in exactly the same way it occurs. So here everything depends on the context. And number two, it is analog substitution, and I hope the essence is clear here. In addition, I would like to tell about euphemistic translation methods. Here you can see some meaning and examples, but first of all, it is a way of softening or masking rude expressions. Well, translators always have an important goal: correct, clear, and understandable translation. With the development of the technology and the internet, people began to have more opportunity to share and receive information. And therefore to introduce various kinds of slangism in their languages. At present, humanity has access to various social acts. Therefore, over the past 10, 15 years, the Ukrainian language has been filled with a large number of anglicism, which is exactly what I will show you now. And so I suggest moving on to the examples. Here you can see different examples, but I would like to tell you about the most common expression, which is hang out, and it's позависати, and it is analog substitution. In addition, for shits and giggles, which is по приколы, and it is euphemistic translation methods. Also here we can see to chicken out all the way up, and it is lexical replacement, and I hope you can see the translation. Number two, it is Ruby and Olivia think that I should dump him. It is a contextual substitution, and it's like відфутболити. Тобто Ruby і Olivia вважають, що я маю його відфутболити. There are a lot of normal for us examples, which is sweetheart, buskill, freshman, and so on and so forth. But it's also some and a bit explication here. Well, summarizing, we can conclude that after analyzing slangism and their equivalents in the Ukrainian language of the sitcom, we came to the conclusion that the most common methods of translation are contextual substitution, which is 21.7%, and analog substitution, which is 17.4%, as I mentioned. This shows that today's slang is an integral part of the Ukrainian language, because the translator has aptly chosen the right equivalent in translated language as well. after watching the series, I realized that this work is extremely important for me personally because it is a translation that helps me understand my future profession. In addition, I shared my observation with the students of my gymnasium during the roundtable of the participants of this year's competition. There I mentioned that, in my opinion, the method of euphemistic translation, that is softening, as I mentioned, is interesting and maybe a bit hard for translators. Um, well, like the translation in general, let's be honest. But this, in my opinion, is the most difficult because it is necessary to find right soft counterparts in the translated language as well. Well, in our case, we're talking about Ukrainian, of course.